Hello, today I'm gonna work on a project I have recently started. So it's supposed to become a Dotfiles manager. I've just set up the project as for now. But today I'm gonna try some vibe coding. So I'm gonna code it in Go. I can just check here what I've done thus far. So now it's just some placeholder code basically. Yeah, it's some example from the documentation for 𝗬𝗶𝗶 and 𝗘𝗺𝗶. So those are two libraries. 𝗬𝗶𝗶 is for making a 𝗬𝗺𝗡, so terminal and user interface. So that's the library you can use for that. And 𝗘𝗺𝗶 is for command line arguments. And I've just taken some example code now from their repositories. So that's it that I have here. Made a README and I think that's like this current state of the application. But it's going to be written in Go, and I have here asked Claude. I described a bit what I want as functionality. And basically I've used 𝗍𝗏𝗡 in the past. I've also, I tried to use now 𝗘𝗺𝗧𝗧. But I think I would like to build something that is symlink based, like 𝗍𝗏𝗡, but also supports having different paths on different operating systems. So I'm using, now it's Linux, but I'm also using Windows for work. So I would like to have something that can have different paths on different operating systems. And yeah, use symlinks. So I've created my repository, and I'm gonna go to the change desktop here and navigate to the code. So here I don't have any changes. I'm using JJ or Jujutsu instead of Git. But let's start Claude. Here we have it. And I'm gonna take a look at here. So here I've just described some basic functionality. And it did some research here about other Dotfiles managers. And on 𝗘𝗧𝗧, so the different operating systems, they're called this. So I think I will use the same terminology for what I'm building. And here it wrote some functionality plan. So, and I had described some commands that I want to have, like some setup command and some add command, apply. So add is when you have a config file and want to store it in the .files directory. Then it will be moved there, and then a symlink will be created. That's the intention. And apply is if you like have a new machine and then you clone your .files and then apply, then we will create the symlinks. Is the intention. But yeah, I gave Claude a bit freedom to create this. So I haven't really read through everything yet that closely. But maybe we can start with I think with the setup command would probably be good. And I'm thinking maybe I can ask it to write instructions that I will then use in Claude code. So let's start with that. Formatted in Markdown. So let's see what it says also. Initial configuration of repository setup functionality. Create configuration directory in standard location. So this I agree with. There needs to be a config file somewhere on the disk that we can check where the .files are stored. And the config will point out where the .files are. So create new repository. So init or setup. Oh, maybe we can do init instead. Sounds good. create, and then we give a directory, initializes git repository, creates default, config in repository. So the .files folder, that will be a git repository that can be pushed and pulled to somewhere. But I don't know about this with the dot in the beginning of the name. Maybe we will skip that. Please remove the dot from the file name. And then we will copy this. Sets up basic structure, but otherwise I think it sounds good. Created a directory, initializes git repository. Otherwise, maybe we have already created a folder with .files. And I think this sounds good. Validates directory exists, optionally adds the config if missing, stores path in config. And then also if it's hosted somewhere, a clone command or flag. So it clones it, reads existing config and stores path in config. And then interactive TUI mode. If no flags provided, launches TUI wizard, guides user through setup options, more user-friendly for first-time users. Maybe we should just specify here that it should use 𝗶𝗶𝗡 and 𝗘𝗺𝗶𝗹. Please use 𝗶𝗶𝗡 and 𝗘𝗺𝗶𝗹 when TUI and CLI faces. Like that. And then also about this config. Oh, maybe it will create it. We will see what format that gets. Formatted in Markdown. So maybe we list that I can give to Claude code. Not sure if we need this with thinking, but let's keep it. We will see what happens. So, and then afterwards, we will go and give it here to Claude code. But let's see what it does here. Implement the init command for bubblegum crisis. So that's the name of the .files manager. I forgot to tell. A cross-platform .files manager. This command handles initial setup and repository configuration with 3 modes: create new repo, point to existing repo, or clone remote repo. When no flags are provided, it launches an interactive TUI wizard. Project context. So we're using language Go, CLI framework 𝗘𝗺𝗶, TUI framework 𝗶𝗶𝗡, platforms Windows, Mac, Linux, and where the repository is. And here the command structure, create command /init.go using 𝗘𝗺𝗶 with the following structure. And those are what we saw earlier. I think it looks like it makes sense, I think. Configuration file location, I think this is good. So I'm very new to Go. I'm reading a book about it now to learn the language. But I'm like a very early beginner, so I don't know what this means, but it sounds reasonable without knowing Go. Configuration file structure, and here we will see what that config looks like. A version number, where the .files are, auto commit and auto sync. I think this looks good. And where the actual .files are. Here also version number. I think that's good. We will see about this later, but it can create it for now. The files and ignore. I don't know if I want to have like this format. So implementation tasks, create a configuration package. So it will create a Go package to handle configuration. So different structs. A bit weird formatting here. It formatted it properly here, but then now it seems like we're getting markdown instead. Or, yeah, I think so. Because here the Go code should end. Implement functions. Then later create init command. Command logic. And also the interactive TUI mode. Welcome screen. Maybe we will just assume that this is good. And so implement existing mode. I think here task 5 was there a task. Oh. Task 4 was implement create mode. Okay, so that's the different flags that we can give to it. Well, what was task number 3? Okay, that was 2 mode. Implement clone mode. Path handling utilities. Oh, if it thinks those are needed, sure. And git utilities. And testing. Okay, it's just telling Claude, I think, to test scenarios. Error handling. Project structure. We'll see what happens with all of this. So we'll copy that. And I will see if I can paste the text. Is it possible to see the pasted text? I don't know. There should somehow be possible to open this in Neovim, but I don't remember how. It's some command. If I start to type something long, I think it should tell how to open it in Neovim. Okay, maybe not. Okay, when I made a new line, Ctrl-G. So Ctrl-G, and then we try to paste here. Okay, then we got everything. 411 lines. I think we got it. Can we scroll here? Yeah. So we give it the task now. So we will see how much I do today. But I would like to do the setup or init command. It also would be fun to do the apply command and see if that can work. I think that would be fun. Or add a command, I mean. So maybe we can, while it's working here, maybe we can take a look at the add command. So this is when we want to track a file by moving it to the Dotfiles repo and creating a symlink. So when it adds it to the Dotfiles directory, so maybe our bash rc config file, it needs to check if it already exists in the Dotfiles repo, and then I want a warning. And if it's already symlinked, yeah, sounds good to tell that it's already tracked. And here I would like to be able to move either a file or a home directory. And then, yeah, add metadata to this file. We'll see about that later. I think I want a different format, as I said. Optionally auto-commit to Git. I think that sounds good. So maybe we'll tell it here then to write markdown instructions for this command as well. Please write instructions to Claude code with the add command. I think everything you said there looks good already. So, and here it asks for something. It wants to create a directory. We allow it. Oh, so it will continue to work here. So here, implement the add command for 𝗘𝗺𝗡𝗟. This command tracks a configuration file or directory by moving it to the Dotfiles repository and creating a symlink in its place. It updates the repository's JSON metadata and optionally commits the change to Git. So the add command validates the file directory exists. Makes sense. Check if it's already tracked, also makes sense. Check if it's already a 𝗘𝗺𝗡𝗟 managed symlink, also makes sense. Moves the file to the Dotfiles repository, creates the symlink from the original location to the Dotfiles location, updates the JSON file with metadata, optionally commits to Git if autocommit enabled or flag provided. And here command structure, let's just see if it's so it wants to create a file. Yes, do that. I don't know yet how to auto accept everything. Like, I think it's already on here, but I don't know. It's asking these questions anyways. But look here then. So add a path and optionally some flags. Yes, this is what I want to be able to do. Makes sense. No commit, don't automatically commit to Git. Overwrites autocommit config. So that's from config file. I think it sounds good. Commit force message. I wonder what the message will be if you don't provide one. Maybe Claude Code will come up with some default dry run. That's good to have. Also for testing. And here, so it will update the config package. Let's see, it's working. Load .files config. Save .files config. Add a file to the .files config. File exists. I guess it will check on disk, but I'm not really sure about this with the relationship to the config file. If it will check there as well. Like if I'm trying to add a file, will it check in both in the config file and on disk? But we will see what happens. And then create the add command. Add, track, and longer description. Those examples. Command logic. Let's see. Oh, it's going well. Load application config to get .files. Path. Validate config exists. So user must have run init first. That makes sense. Get target path from arguments. Sure. Validate target exists and is accessible. Load .files config from repository. Check if already tracked. Check if already 𝗘𝗺𝗡𝗟 symlink. Execute add operation or show dry run output. Update the JSON config. Optionally commit Git. Display success message. So it would be great if you can do all of these steps. It would be nice. Task 3, create add operation logic. What was this then? CLI create add command. And what's the difference here? So this is 𝗘𝗺𝗶 and command. Oh, yeah. There is some distinction here. Add options. I think this is everything we have already looked at. Implementation steps. Validate target. I think this is just what we've already seen, but worded in a different way. And then the paths, get relative path from home. I talked about it in my initial message to Claude here. But it's when I give this path, that's like what it should put in the Dotfiles repository. So remove this part of the path. I calculate where the file should go in the Dotfiles repo. So that will be that without the home directory and all that. Extract a suitable name for tracking. Not sure yet what it means with this for tracking and where it will be used. Checks if a path is within a directory. Okay. Okay, here it took away this .config and it's only the Neovim directory name. Let's see. Okay, here it's something it wants to run. And don't ask again. So, what did it do here? Oh, it's cleaning away my boilerplate example code. Path calculation logic. So for a file like that, it's a source, a relative. That's the destination. How the symlink would look like, and name in the config. Okay, so there's some in the JSON config. There's some name also of it. Same here, but in the .files directory, so it will keep that folder. I think that looks good. Something else it wants to run. So this is my program, 𝗘𝗺𝗧, bubblegum crisis, and then init. I guess it has built it, and now it wants to run it. So testing all 3 init modes. Something else it wants to do. Creating a temp directory. It wants to read from there. Okay. And it wants to check the config file, sure. And it wants to read. Yes. So that's the config file to find out where the dot files are. Sure, go ahead. And something else. So it wants to create it wants to access the temp directory again, but in some other way. So I'm pressing 2, so it should not ask the same question again. Some error config already exists. I guess it's from its first test, and now it's doing the second test. Oh, it's a bit fun to see it working. Let's continue read here. Create symlink. This would be interesting to see how it creates a symlink when it actually implements it. It wants to delete something. This, and this. Sure. Allow that. But yeah, it will be interesting to see how a symlink is created in Go. I don't know. I don't know if there is a native command in Go, or if it will just run ln, command tool for that. Okay, it's done now. Some file operations, git operations. So here it will be a lot of meat and potato for it to build. This continues. What is all this? Complete implementation. So here in Claude it has already suggested implementation. I'm not sure if I want to have this in my question. I'm gonna let Claude implementation. So you don't need to give a complete implementation in sort task 12 as well as 11. But also maybe a bit less with all these things as well, or I don't know. Oh. 11 and tasks 11 and 12, but let's do that at least. Let's see what happened here. So we'll create or start a new terminal, and let's put it here to the left. And we will go to our folder. So here we can see modified files and new files and diff. We'll see what has happened. A lot of things. Lip gloss, I've seen that mentioned, but I'm not sure what it does. I think it was something for pretty printing of the 𝗬𝗎 to like use different colors and formatting. Here we have the config. For the clone command. Create command. Did I miss something? No. Create. Existing. Also all of the init. I think that looks like a good way to organize it. Some of the package is init and then it has the different flags. Messages. I'm not really sure about putting the messages separately from the commands, but we'll go with this for now. 𝗬𝗎 init. That would be interesting to try. I think here we have the lip gloss things as well. We continue down. Git. So that's git utils. All things it needs to be able to do in Git, and here it has cleaned up and rewritten things in the main file. So maybe we should compile, go build. But I think it creates with this file, since that's the project name, but I want my binary to be called like that. So output, just to be sure we have a recent build. Let's run it and see what happens. So some description, usage, here's the init. Let's see what happens here. Okay, and now it launched the 𝗬𝗎 mode. Here's some vision bug. But not so serious. I'll try to go down. Ah, here is a bit off as well. This should have been here. Maybe I can tell Claude that in the 𝗬𝗎 mode, the navigate. I'm not really sure what has happened here. So that character is there. Maybe it's something with my font. It might be. Let's see if I can paste it. Looks a bit weird. Is there some other way to make it look? I know if it's caused by my font or what. And then also selecting the options. So also when selecting an option not aligned. Oh, it can work on that for now. Maybe we want to create a new one. I don't know if it will be confused if I'm doing things at the same time. So there's a path, default. Error reading file. Oh, we'll see what it comes up with. But here, type the enter path. What happens? Okay. So when I start to type, even though this is selected, it's replacing the cursor as one. Let's escape and quit this and let it build. Just to be on the safe side. And here was the add command. And hopefully it doesn't have all that code anymore. Oh, I think looks good there. So now that one was done. Let's just compile to be safe that we have the latest. Oh, it's still something off here. But at least here it's better. Oh, maybe we can read the code later. But let's try, or should we just take a look if there already is this config. Let's see. What happened there? Doesn't seem to exist. So we run this. Let's create it. And that folder, I don't know if I have. Dotfiles, no. So we can safely use that. And also initialize Git repository. Okay, so we can toggle that. Create. Enter to confirm. Okay, and now we will be able to set some settings in the config file. This is way off, but let's do that for now. Maybe we'll leave them off. Or we turn them on. Okay. pressed enter. Oh, okay, I need to be on the continue. Repository. So it has been initialized. Let's see if this, okay, now it exists. Wait, ls. Let's see what it contains. So that looks good. Is it a Git repo? Yes. With a master branch. Let's see what it has done here. Initial commit. That looks good. Do those git ignore. If we do this, now we can see what it committed. So git ignore file. That's good. And a JSON file, so that's it. And here it tends to ignore those files. Not really sure what ignoring means in this context here. Well. I don't know about this with link Dotfiles, what that is supposed to be, but this add command at least we want. So we copied this and then Control G to open in Neovim, paste. Maybe we can move this over, put it here, have it in the center. Let's see, 650 lines. Long instruction for it. Or wait, maybe we should just commit first. I think that's just to be on the safe side. I haven't read any of the code yet. But if that's the Dotfiles. So let's go into here. But just to be on the safe side, we commit. Implement init command to set up Dotfiles. Repo. Okay, so let's do now. So now we run it again. So I think I will do this add command and then I will be pretty happy when we're done with that and maybe call it a day. Maybe we can also push the commit. So I can show you that. So I'm using JJ and here we are the git history. Or, oh, it's JJ, but it's using Git under the hood. And it only shows the latest commits. Here we have 16 commits, but not all of them are visible here. And here is called bookmark, and then we want to move it, and it's main, our branch is called. And we want to move it to the previous commit. So we are here, but we want to put the main bookmark on this one. So now if we check with JJ, now it's pointing here, and then when we do JJ git push, so now it's moving forward, bookmark. And if we check JJ log, and previously we saw this in the log, but not anymore, because it's like not relevant anymore. So now we have changed with these points and we can go here and refresh and yeah, we have 17 commits. It was this one. Maybe I would have like split this up if I was coding on my own, but for now I think we'll just do it quick and see what happens with this vibe coding. Let's see how it ran those git commands. I'm a little bit interested in. Exec command osxx, so that's to run commands on the operating system. It's still running here. So that assumes then that git is installed, but maybe that's something you can like assume that people have installed if you're using this sort of tool. Here's adding, commit, it's for cloning, validating git URL, maybe that's good. With the paths. Here, what does it do now in the main file? So we have main. Just delete a lot. Command execute. Where does command come from? It's here. I guess something with this file, init. There's some root file. Here was execute. Init. Not really sure if this has some special meaning in Go. Function with lowercase init. Something I would need to read up on later. See if it's running along. But it will run the root command. It's here. Use. We never tried it ourselves. Maybe we can do that. So let's move this, or we can quit that and here. Here. It's already adding. Yeah, and now it wants to run it itself. The add command. Can I do this? Yeah. And I'm getting some examples here as well. Here it wants to do something more. Some test it's doing. I think it's cool, but maybe I shouldn't do this while it's running things at the same time. I don't want to make it confused. Some error file already exists. Test.𝗏. Let's try to make a file that we try to symlink. It seems like. Is it? Oh. So we will allow access to config. So it's creating a directory. Test app. Echo config. And then it wants to add this folder. It's testing to add a directory. So that was called test app. Maybe we need to remove them afterwards. It's a different one. Echo test RC2, sure. So now it has created two Dotfiles and a folder as well. And here in the temp directory are the Dotfiles stored. Maybe we can see them already. If we go here, test. If we do here to show on, okay, it has already deleted it. Here, it was a bit too quick. Let's see what the message is. So now they're all put here, even though they like belong to different commands. So not sure if I like that, but okay, now it was done. It even tells me what it has added. So the add command, we have internal things, operations. Let's see. Maybe we can close this one and we do 𝗓𝗓𝗓 or 𝗓𝗓_status just to see a little bit what has happened there. Some new files and let's see also what it says here. Oh, it prints a lot. Here we have the command for add. Updated in the root here. And also here, config. More messages. But like with the messages, okay, it at least has a different headline here, but otherwise it's like they're a bit mixed in with everything now. But we keep it for now. Operations add. What is an add operation? It seems like it's like the actual logic. So I guess from both the command and from the 𝗬𝗎 mode that both perform this add operation. I think this is all logic for checking if it already exists and copying and creating the symlink. Here's moving the file to the Dotfiles repo. I wonder about the symlink. It's doing git operations. How does it do the symlink? Here, create symlink. utils, create symlink. Otherwise it would roll back. File ops, move file, copy recursive, copy file, validate. Wait, went a bit too far. What is validate? System paths should never be added. Validate add target. So it's obviously a lot of code here. I don't think I wouldn't read through everything right now. Here, symlink. I'm just curious. Okay, so it's something in the OS. What's it called? Module or package? I guess package. It creates a symlink. lstat. It's getting some information at the path. Oh, that was everything. So let's build again and we run. Now we have the add command. Do I have any Dotfiles repos still? I guess I should add like some status command or something to get some information. But let's do that another time. Let's see if there is... No, it doesn't exist anymore. So it has deleted it. But let's then create a repo again. So that was init. And here is this user interface again, but maybe we can try this time to do it through the command line interface instead. So init, and let's create Is that still existing though? So let's open a new prompt. Does that exist? Yes. If I go into there, what do I have there? Is it the same things as before? So then we say existing instead. So it linked to this directory. Bit weird colors. Configuration saved here. Now it's telling about that add command, but let's check. Always typing wrong here. So now it has added and created a file. Good. Let's see. I wonder if those test files are still in there. If we create one then. Or, yes, let's do that. I was thinking if I should try with a real file, but I don't know if I dare to do that. I might mess something up, and I don't want to spend time now to fix that. Like restoring a file and with the symlink and all that. We can use something like that. And let's go here again, and then we will do add and test_rc. Just moving the file to the repository, creating symlink, added test_rc to .files. I guess that's a JSON file, and then created a symlink. Doesn't say anything about Git. Did it create any? No. Git status. This is modified. Okay, but auto commit. So when I did this with existing, so by default it says auto commit to false and auto sync to false. Maybe if we change our config file here. No, it's not this one. I mean this. If we go in here. True. That's the configuration for the program. And I wonder if I should redo this. Reset hard, I think. So we can move this file to my home directory, and then we try this command again and see if it also commits it. It doesn't say anything about it. No. Maybe if I add commit as a flag. Let's reset this again. Move it back. Commit also. So now it should be committed. So now it has added that to .files. Let's see what it did. So it pasted in this file. It's updated the config file. Name. Not sure. Yeah, I guess that's the default path, and then it calls the file something. I think that makes sense. Yeah, I wonder about the future when there are different paths for different operating systems, but I guess that's a later problem. But it looks all right here, and then we will just double check here in the home directory. Oh, it's a symlink. So if I were to open it in the home directory, oh yeah, then we get the content there. a bit curious about that 𝗬𝗎 mode also. So let's just create a second file. So now we have a second file. Add. I guess it didn't create any 𝗬𝗎 mode. I think, did we see any 𝗬𝗎 mode here? Add. So before we had 𝗬𝗎 init, but we didn't get any now. Maybe I will do that another time, but at least this is working now. And that is quite impressive, I think. I have obviously not tried everything with all flags for both the init and add commands, but pretty cool what already works. There were some like graphical glitches in the 𝗬𝗎 mode, but overall I think it's very cool what it has already done. So let's create a commit here. Implement add command config files in the Dotfiles repo. So we've been doing this again with bookmark. I think there are these short forms. So yes, git push. It made 1472 additions and 125 deletions for the init command. Let's see. Oh, now it should be done. So I'm hosting it here on 𝗘𝗺𝗏, so you feel free to check it out if you want. And you can also add a pull request if there's something you want to implement here. I have some ideas, so maybe I will come with critique or feedback, or yeah, we'll see. I haven't thought through everything what I really want to have. I'm thinking it would also be nice in 𝗘𝗺𝗧 they have like the ability to make templates and can like reuse parts of a config file and then use bits and pieces for different operating systems. So maybe like your config differs between Windows and Linux. So maybe you want to have something shared, but not everything. I'm not sure how that would work with symlinks, which that's the approach I'm doing now. So maybe that will not work, but that would be interesting if to look at myself, or if you have an idea, please leave some feedback either here on YouTube or on my repository here. So here it made 881 additions, 1 deletion, more permissions, telling about the add command. So like now it has written like 2,000 lines of code and I haven't read much of it. So I think for a more proper project, like it would require a bit more thorough examination what it has done, not just commit and push everything. But to not spend too much time now, we will just quickly look at roughly what has happened. Here is with the config, the messages. I think, this is things we have already seen when we were looking with JJ and the diff. Not sure yet what the validate does. It's something when the target path. Probably good stuff. But maybe this is it for today. This is something it has generated in an early version, I used Claude code to make a README without like basically any instructions. So these ones are made up by Claude code. Not sure if, I don't think this is added. Oh, so there is a lot of things that don't exist here yet. But maybe eventually, and yeah, I will need to clean up and work more. But already it's quite cool what it's already have been able to implement. And I will read more about Go and become better myself. And yeah, but for now I just wanted to try to do some vibe coding and see what result it would yield. And I think it's very impressive. Yeah, I think that's it for today. And if you have any comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And please come with feedback if you have any suggestions or anything, any feedback of what I've shown today and what I've done. If you have any, yeah, what do you think I should do differently, or with Go or with vibe coding or anything. And yeah, see you another time. Bye bye.